do not think possums are real. I just found a random fucking Cat 6 cable. Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000. No, we're not staying here. Go ahead and fill the water up while we're here. I'm gonna leave today, head to a campsite that's about an hour and something minutes away. These RV filters, you can use them inline on a water tank, or you can use them when filling up, which is usually what I do. I forgot to put the data first used on here though, so eventually I'm gonna have to replace this. Actually, quick tip, spray out some water first, that way if there's anything in the line, it gets shot out. Look at all that, it stopped. It's just rust that's in the lines. Get yourself a filter. Even though it's a clean water tap, does not mean it's going to be clean water. Oy. All right, place your bets. Place them quickly. Is it gonna start or is it gonna fight me? Really? Hayamath Horse Trail in Tom Bigby National Forest. If you're kind of ever curious, while I stomp through here, there is, I believe, a ranger's office here. I left something back there that fell over. Yeah, this thing is not very fuel efficient, so I'm hoping 56 miles to the Walmart and then another, I believe, 20 miles to the camping spot. Stay out of the run, buddy. Ow. There's something in my sleeve poking me or biting me, one of the two. Ow. Okay, poking me. You guys like my solution to this cigarette lighter not working? Now I get 2 plugs in one. I don't know how stuff keeps getting slightly unplugged. I know how things are getting slightly unplugged. Go. Moo. Moo. This is actually a decent stretch of road. Mississippi is kind of odd because their highways are awful, but these back roads are usually always nice. I know these are probably still considered highways, but they seem to take care of these roads a lot more than they take care of the main stretches of highway. Not sure why. You know, despite being in the South for 3 years, I have not once seen an actual possum. It's like the one thing I actually want to see in the South is a possum. I want to see what a possum is. I want to hang out with a possum. I want to hang out with a possum. That's my one thing that I want out of the South, and it's yet to happen. I'm getting slightly disappointed by it. I don't even think they're real anymore. I think they're fake. I think everybody makes them up. I do not think possums are real. There's the sheriff. I knew there had to be at least one. It's just how these small towns work. Jesus fucking Christ! Holy shit! I just now noticed how close that person was getting to me. Fucking hell! That woke me up. I cannot get over how ugly the new Camaro is. They had such a good recipe and then they just screwed it up. I don't know what they were thinking. I know they were trying to match their current design language, but it's so ugly. I can't remember what year it is, but it was featured in, oh God, what's the name of that game? I can't remember what year it is, but it was featured in Drive Club, and I remember buying the DLC for it and driving it a ton in Drive Club because I thought it was just that good looking and that good sounding. I miss Drive Club. Drive Club was a genuinely good game. I have it for PlayStation 4. I bought it digitally. I need to just buy another PlayStation 4 so I can play it again. It was a good casual racing game. It blows my mind how many Dollar Generals are in the South. And the problem is that Dollar General just doesn't even have that good of deals. They're expensive. Like, you could find most of that stuff cheaper at Walmart or something along those lines. I guess while we're driving along, I might as well take this opportunity to advertise. If you ever feel like supporting this channel or the other channel, I do have a Patreon. I'm staggering the Patreon between the two channels. I don't feel the need to start another one. I can just share the content from both channels onto one Patreon. It's easier to manage that way. I have been lacking on main channel content, but this channel is kind of my main focus as of right now because I do want to get it off the ground. And then I can go back to focusing on the other channel, getting the main videos that I normally get out done. If I can get a decent flow on both channels, I think I'd be pretty much set. I also have just a straight donation link. If you want, you could leave a message on there. Just keep in mind the next time I stream, it will be displayed on there, both on screen and with text-to-speech. Actually, I'd probably just open a can of worms. If there's any donations off stream, I usually play them back when I get back on stream. Right now, I'm off stream kind of indefinitely. Well, not indefinitely, until further notice. Right now, I'm not streaming due to internet. Starlink is so expensive, and finding internet service around me is not exactly easy. And I only have 50 gigs of hotspot on my phone, which is just not that much. $2.61 for gas here, huh? That's pretty good. Right now, this channel is not monetized. And so I'm being a little bit more lenient with cussing and such like that. But once it's monetized and such like that, I'll have to start censoring things. But if we get enough supporters and there's enough people following the channel and helping the channel out, maybe I'll just leave it that way. Say screw monetization and just keep my no filter. There's plenty of other van life content on YouTube that's a little bit more family friendly and whatnot, but I've just got too much of a loose filter. I cannot help myself. I love my sentence enhancers. You know, cussing is a sign of low intelligence. Yeah, I do. What about it? I am an idiot. You're not telling me anything new. Ooh, is that a javelin? There we go. That's a decent speed. Bird. I'm sorry, but I know how this game works. You guys are gonna tailgate the shit out of me. I'm gonna speed up. And then there's gonna be a cop up here, and I'm gonna be one that gets shafted because I have the out-of-state plates. Not my first rodeo. I've been around the block once or twice. I know how this shit works. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a little bit more. But no more than that. That's out of the realm of plausible deniability at that point. See, I like that model year Mustang. I like the styling of it. It's really close to what the original... Did I say Mustang? I meant Camaro. We're just gonna cut that part out. That dude is also doing 45. Problem is, you get one tailgater, and that person tailgates the other person, and then the back person also tailgates, and then you get a conga line going, and people get mad, even though I'm doing over the speed limit. Yep, tell this is a highway in Mississippi because it's fucking maintained like ass. Enough to make your car sick, Jesus. You're in a Mercedes and you're about to get it passed by a fucking Econoline. There's gotta be like a sense of like shame or embarrassment of buying a high-class German luxury vehicle and being passed by a 30-year-old billboard. My ABS light is on. Not that I think it matters, because I think even with the light off, the ABS doesn't work. Oh, this train track has not been used for years. It's still kind of sketchy, though. Yeah, it definitely turns into gravel. Oh, and it's a rough gravel road, too. Just had to open my mouth earlier. Wow, this is a really comfortable drive. Nothing like an old gravel road. Knock your fillings loose. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is one hell of a nut and bolt check. I certainly don't have service like I thought I had. Whee! Jesus. You got a trailer there, that'd be fucking sketchy. Oh, God, please let there be nobody else here. Recreation area. There is picnic tables. An info board, and the trash cans are overflowing. And there is definitely somebody back here who has probably been living here for a little bit.
In 600
I'm not staying anywhere near that guy. This is a sketchy area. Switch to my phone just so you guys can understand how dingy this place is. It's just so full of trash and roads are all torn up. I'm pretty sure the camping spots are back there, but someone has made themselves a home back here. Yes, there's somebody living in there. I just saw movement. No, we're not staying here. Sorry for the stiff camera angle, but I need to plug in the camera for a little bit. But no, this place does not pass the vibe check, so I'm going somewhere else. Someone is absolutely living here. That would be one of the RV spots. Typical if you would to stay here, but yeah, someone's been here for quite a while and they have trashed the shit out of this place. I mean, there's trash everywhere. So, no thank you. Damage check. The sound that I heard was all of my stuff falling out of the overhead storage and my paper towels unraveling themselves. Both my camera and my phone are about dead, so I'm gonna get myself set up and we'll continue from there. I mean, there's all sorts of garbage and shit out here because, you know, nobody takes care of anything, but I just found a random fucking Cat 6 cable with the tie still on it. Is that Cat 6 or is that Cat 5? Huh. I mean, obviously I'm not going to be able to use this because it's been sitting in the sand, but what the fuck? I ended up just moving. With the rain that's coming in and the way the weather's supposed to behave for the next few days, I decided it's probably better to be just up here in the actual campground than down there on the beach where I don't know what the conditions are going to get like with rain and storms and whatnot with the sand. If it warms up, maybe I can move back down there and camp down there for a few days. I would like to, but up here is just fine. I'm definitely glad that I ditched that last spot though. That I wouldn't even consider that spot habitable. Yeah. Yeah, down there it's just a muddy mess. I'm glad we didn't try to get down this way. You know, a spot like that would have probably been fine. I have heard rumors that there's apparently some homeless people that are also living out here in the woods. Full of foam. Is this like a... alcohol? Oh, alcohol prohibited. That's probably supposed to be down on the beach. There's also an old abandoned house over here. I don't want to really fuck with it too much. Yeah, there's no way someone's living here. No trespassing, no problem. I'm sure they got cameras. I highly doubt they'll just leave this as is, but there is no power running to it. No telephone. And the whole balcony's coming down. It does look like there is actually an interior to that rear balcony. I think I see sinks and whatnot in there. I'm curious, but not curious enough to trespass. None of my business. I'll stay out of it. Maybe, just maybe, we try some gamer sups. Some gamer sups. You know what? The Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, the Russian Badger one. Can't really tell because the bottle's green, but it is green. Oh god, I can't open this with one hand. My hands are too sweaty. Shit, it's actually not that bad. It's like a... kind of tastes a little bit of lime. It's not guacamole, first of all. Lime, I'm gonna guess? I'll have to look it up. I didn't want to look it up and ruin it for myself. It's fruity, though. It's not at all what it looks like on the label, or at least what it says on the label. And yeah, this is just a cheap Walmart bottle. It's no waifu cup, but it'll do. I got it for free, so who can complain? We're in a slightly different spot today. We're a little bit further away from where we were last time, but the last log was kind of boring, and I really didn't want this log to be boring as well. But scrubbing through a lot of the footage, not a lot happens, so I figured we'd just start today. The sun is very bright, even with my hat on. That's why I'm squinting. Let's get up to somewhere where there's a little bit more shade. So I'm currently dealing with an issue right now. At the last location that we were at, the weather was really, really bad the entire time, and there's a bunch of trees and everything around there that was preventing me from getting a decent amount of solar power. When I got here, it was rainy for about 2 or 3 days, and then it's cleared up, which means I've been getting a decent amount of sunlight. Right now, the sun's about as high as it's going to get in the sky, yet I'm not getting full charging capacity out of my solar panels. These are my solar panels. I already talked about them in the first video. Those are patrons and supporters. If you want to see your name up there, consider joining. But anyways, these are my solar panels, 24 volt, 200 watt. We got 2 of them running in parallel, so that's 400 watts. It gets to the charger and gets buck converted back down to 12 volts, so that increases the amperage because the wattage stays the same. Those work fine during the summer. Over the winter months, and we're starting to get into spring now, they're not working as efficiently, which is not the fault of the solar panels. It's the fault of me and just the fault of the natural phenomenon. The sun's lower in the sky, the days are shorter, the weather is a lot more spotty. These panels would like to have sunlight hitting them directly. Now, as you can see, they're kind of canted backwards. They just kind of follow the slope of the roof, so they sit back at about, I want to say 2 or 3 degrees, which helps them get a little bit more direct sunlight, but they're not getting direct contact. So most of the light's coming down and just bouncing off. Again, these are more efficient when the sunlight's hitting them directly. Now I do have a shore power hookup on here. My shore power is just a 15 amp charger, but it also works on top of the solar power that's coming in. So if I was plugged in right now, on top of the solar power that I get, because right now I believe let's see what I'm getting right now. About 15.5 amps. So that 15.5 amps on top of the 15 amps coming in from shore power would be about 30 amps, give or take fluctuations in the solar. That would have been more than enough, and it has been more than enough when I was hooked up to power. But sites like these, there's no shore power hookup. So I need another system to charge off of. This, ooh, shit. Let me just break everything real quick. This is a 20 amp DC to DC charger. This will take a 20 amp circuit from your alternator and clean it up, regulate it, and send it to your lithium iron phosphate battery. It's really not wise to hook your lithium battery straight up to your alternator because it's designed to charge a lead acid battery, which charges different from your lithium batteries. This is really just, at the end of the day, a fancy regulator. This will allow it to get a clean, steady 20 amps, and then once the battery is full, it will put it on a float charge so that way it can stay topped up without setting too much current to the battery and damaging the cells. Now, let me get something clear. I'm not going to wire this up completely because I don't have a breaker for this. The breaker for the main charge circuit is already at the very, very edge of what it's really capable of doing. And I fear putting this in, combined with the solar power that it's getting in, it would trip the breaker and I'd be driving down the road with no charging rather than just solar charging. This is a Renogy brand charger, and it's the same brand that my mini fridge is. I'm not sponsored by them, but so far their stuff seems to be pretty good, and I wish I had done the whole van with Renogy stuff. Because I'm using a mix of lifetime stuff and a cheap Chinesium battery. I think it's only just called Chins. Would not recommend it because that battery gave me a few scares a few different times, but I think I figured it out now. Now that does come with drawbacks. This old Ford 302, it's winded. It's got about 155,000 miles on it, but those have been a very rough, very hard 155,000 miles, and it shows. One thing to keep in mind is that a 20 amp draw on an alternator at all times is pretty hefty compared to what it normally has to push out. And that's going to be on top of what it normally has to push out, which means that's going to be premature wear on the alternator. Now, I do have a brand new alternator in this, but it's still not very good for it. Secondly, this has recently seized up the smog bump on here, which destroyed the belt that I put on it. So I had to bypass that with a different belt. The issue being is that I couldn't find a belt just short enough to be perfect, so I had to get one that was slightly oversized for what I needed, which means that the tensioner is fully bottomed out. Now, driving down the road normally, that's not a big deal, but when this thing gets a little bit of load on it, the belt starts to squeak. 20 amps is going to be a decent load on this belt, so hopefully it doesn't slip and shred the belt. I know what you're thinking. Are you sure you want to put any more load on this poor old 302? To that I say, one side of charging cables later. I understand why crackheads do weird things with their hands now. It took forever for this stuff to shrink, and as you can see, it's kind of sooted up and black. That's actually on the heat shrink itself. It took forever to shrink. Even though I did take the battery out, I decided it's probably best to not hook these up until I get the fuses that I need. I mean, sure enough, it actually asks for 2 fuses. I'll definitely end up probably putting 2 breakers on here. They do make 12 volt breakers, and if I had a chance to rewire it, I'd actually make a custom breaker panel for the 12 volt systems. When I go to the bus or the bread truck or whatever we decide to make, definitely gonna do that. Make an actual custom wiring system with both a 120 volt breaker panel and make a custom breaker panel for both 12 volt and 120 volt. Because I think I can make something that's decent. I'm gonna guess this is the first time this thing has ever been out of here. It's been broken slightly, and things have been getting stuck in there. So these cables run through here, go through a hole, past the fender, and then into the cab. When I had to end up pulling this fender off, or at least tried to pull it off. There's one bolt here that I can't get to, and another bolt here that I don't seem to have a socket that fits. Paint on it is too thick or what the issue is, but I couldn't get it off. So I had to bend the panel back, which has now led to this. Yeah. But anyways, cables run in, run behind this panel, and then go underneath. And they're just sitting right here. And they just are going to run up through here to the charger. And I also got these lines here. These feed to this switch here. So when this switch is on, the charger will run. When the switch is off, the charger won't run. Now, you're typically supposed to wire this to the ignition, but I just decided not to do that because I want to be able to actually shut the system off entirely if I don't need it. Now, there is an LED here that I'm hoping is still good. That was part of the original panel that I wired back into the switch. So when this is on, the LED should turn on. I won't know until it's all hooked up. As you can tell right now, I don't have it hooked up because these all just terminate right here, and I don't want these to short out and cause problems. So those aren't hooked up to anything. More time, just because it's funny. The charger, I think I'm going to set in that spot right here, right next to the solar charger, and then that'll feed lines into the battery. And I don't have the screws to mount it right now though, but that's where it'll be going. However, even if I had the screws, I can't finish it right now because I'm out of wire. Lovely. Just happened to walk over past where these guys were camping last night. They've been gone for about 6 or 7 hours now. And this fire is not out. There are red hot coals underneath there still. I'm over there. And I've got a fire going, obviously, but I'm around to watch it. These guys just left the fucking fire going and hauled ass out of here. That's hot. Okay. I think that'll at least keep it from reigniting. Gone out. God damn it. Oh well. I'll let it smolder because I'll actually be here and I don't need a reason to have that fire going for much longer. You know what? Just for making me have to put out your fire, I'm taking a few pieces of these firewood because these are actually decent. I'll chop them up later. Look at this. That's some starter pine. That'll be handy. I'll take this one, chop it up into some small pieces, and I'll take that starter pine too. Fuck around, find out. I don't even think they're coming back though, to be quite honest, so it's not really that big of a deal. But less work for me, the better. My fire's going again. Just had to throw a bunch of sticks on it. I'm trying to dry off that firewood. Bet I'll take some more. I'm such a dick.